And a Hocus Pocus basically was cute if you don't think too into it and you
There you
don't
go.
dissect, then cute. Cute. That's all I got for you.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
All right. Well, we got to review Hocus Pocus 2. And Courtney and I watched it. And let's just go through like all categories. Cast. All right. I thought the women reprising their role was the best part of the movie. You know, watching them do their thing, get back into that groove. They look like they have fun together. You know, doing their just getting back into the characters. What did you think?
I mean, yeah, I thought they were good, like they were last time, but nothing like I feel like nothing stood out too much. And maybe it's just because they didn't have as much of a role as like the young girls.
Right.
So I wasn't like, oh yeah, I don't know. I didn't like get all excited about it for them for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I was excited about it, but it was like that was the best part
Well,
of the movie to me because everything else was just phoned in, lazy writing, um, and to your point, like it their roles weren't that exciting because the writing they had nothing to go off of.
yeah,
You
it's
know, I mean,
true.
spoiler
Like I
alert.
feel like
Go ahead.
I just feel like the funniest, well, like scene wise, like them in the the Walgreens or whatever was
Right,
probably the best part for them.
right.
And the like unique part because they're discovering these products that weren't there before. Um, and then like, isn't it Winnie, the one with the crooked mouth? Is that her name? She like farted as she walked in.
Yeah,
And that's what stood out to me. Like,
Courtney
that
saw
was
that.
just
I
like
didn't even see that.
funny. Yeah. Even
Yeah.
Becca was like, "Did you see when she pooted? Did you notice she pooted?" I was like, "Yeah, that was like the funniest part to me."
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
like other like here the story basically is these three friends who used to do like incantations in the backyard or in the woods, right? Because the town is like, you know, there's witch stories, folklore around the town. So they're into that stuff as kids. They fall into the world of the witches because they've come back to life, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And there's no connection to the witches. Like it's not like they're a descendant of the witch. We don't even know. Like the main girl gets
Right.
powers, and we don't even know how.
This
It's
is
never even
true.
explained.
Yeah.
So you don't really care for the girl. Like you know, there's nothing there to be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Why she got the powers? She's also a witch because of this, this, and this. It's just no, she just has powers.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
and then the witches
And
come
then
back to what? Destroy the townspeople again?
yeah, like take over the town, like the dude that owns the magic shop,
Yeah,
like and he didn't really have a motive other than he was just like obsessed with them, right? I mean, he just,
right.
or I don't know, like if he had a reason other than he just
Yeah.
liked the witches and was obsessed with it, there, if he had another
You're
reason,
talking about
it didn't
the guy
stick
that
out
owned
to
the
me.
shop.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy that owned the shop. He was just obsessed with them. He had all these
yeah,
books. Oh, he had their book. Um,
yeah,
but when they came back, they were going after the preacher of the town, the descendant of
yeah,
the preacher.
yes,
And they sent all the townspeople after him, and then when they found him, they just touched him and stopped. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was trying to get that covered apple, that
Yeah.
candied apple, and they
He was
all touch
stunning.
him, and then they're like, "Oh, what are we doing? Oh, never mind." So it was very confusing as to what was actually going on, and then the random musical numbers. That was strange.
That was awkward.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
what story are we telling here?
Cause like the first, like when they were first brought back in the woods and they started singing, I was like embarrassed.
Yeah,
Like I was watching it with mom, and I'm like, I feel like I had to like almost be like, Mom, it's just close your eyes. This is embarrassing.
yeah.
I just,
Like I
I
know
don't
I
know. And
asked you to
then,
watch this with me, but like, don't watch this part because this is embarrassing.
yeah, because I didn't sign up for this part either. And then when they're singing, I'm thinking the whole time, why are they singing a number when they just were brought back? And then all of a sudden they literally knew, the writers, it's like the writers knew they needed to make a reason. And so the one girl's like, wait, why are they singing? And then all of a sudden one appears and was like, we're singing to you. And it's like, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's not much motivation.
No.
Yeah, and then so
Oh,
the witches are
no.
going around the town, and they're trying to find that preacher.
Don't know where the townspeople ended up, do we? I mean, they're just dancing like Thriller
Yeah,
in the street.
right.
And then they're like, oh, well, they're too slow. We're going to go find them ourselves. Like,
Yeah,
literally, that's what they said.
and then on top of that, they're trying to do the all powerful spell or whatever to become the most powerful witch or something.
Yeah.
The whole movie, that's what they're trying to do, and then they finally do it at the end, and the redheaded witch realizes that the drawback to doing this spell is it takes away the thing that you love the most, which is her sisters. So her sisters disappear. And then it leaves her by herself. And then all of a sudden she turns into a good person.
Yeah.
That was the least believable part out of the whole movie, because the character
I know.
motivations just didn't make any sense, because it's like she's such a vindictive person. She's a witch, right? She's the bad guy. All right.
Yeah.
Her sisters have been killed because of this spell. Don't you think she'd want to kill everybody in this town even more?
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yeah.
she has a change of heart, and she's like, you know what? It's nothing without my sisters, so I'll pass away too. Take me. And it's like,
Yeah, it wasn't believable because I kept waiting for her to, like, you know, change back to being vindictive and evil. Like, clearly that's what she was from the beginning of the movie. They're showing her as a kid. Like,
yeah,
that's how she was. She was hateful. Like,
right.
and hateful to her sisters. So, I'm sorry. Like, I get that, like, me and you, like, fight sometimes or argue, or like we did when we were younger. But, like, I don't freaking, like, oh, like, be like, oh God, you're such a freaking idiot. Why are you even exist? Oh man, I love him. Why is he gonna die? Like, after I told him what a piece of shit he is. Like,
Right.
it just doesn't make sense as a human. Like, what?
Well, you know what? That's the biggest gripe I have with Disney movies now, is the way they write characters isn't real.
Yeah.
The motivations aren't real. But honestly, that's like a thing in like a lot of TV shows I'm watching now. And it's not just Disney stuff, but it's other things as well. It's like, it's all about drama, and it's like whatever creates the drama that we want, instead of what the character would actually do. And
Yeah.
that's really hard to write. I mean, that's the difference between great writing and mediocre writing, is like making a character do something that character would do, not because it makes the story the ending you want, but because that's literally how this character would do things. And
Y-
these witches just weren't written correctly.
Yeah. Well, and like when you're just talking about Disney in general, like they've changed so much with their views. Like it's all about popularity and the Hollywood view of things. So it isn't about making sense. It's
Right.
about
Agendas.
making everyone happy and political agendas
Right.
and everything else. It's yeah.
And making everyone happy, meaning only people who think
Which
a
does
certain way.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So and then
Yeah.
like I kind of felt like the boyfriend in the movie, the dumb jock,
Yeah.
was pointless.
Pointless.
And I feel like the only reason he was in there was to be like um white male athletes are stupid and they hate females and we need to make them look really stupid as well. Like
Yeah.
let's throw in a character that makes
100%. 100%.
like
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
he was actually my favorite character.
He was funny, yeah. He was funny.
I just liked him. But he played that character well. The dumb jock boyfriend. But I didn't agree. But I totally agree with what you
why.
said. Like that's why they wrote him, and
Yeah.
one of the worst parts of the movie. And it's everything Disney is like that this nowadays, and the Ring of Power is going down this route too, where you're preaching. All your characters do is just preach to the audience. They might as well just do this.
Yeah.
This is what we actually feel, and then go back into character. You know, because
Right.
like that's
Like
what you're doing. You're not talking
yeah.
to the character, because like at this point in the movie, the boyfriend had always been supportive of the friends. He's like, hey, aren't y'all gonna hang out in the woods and you know do your seance thing, you know, whatever that's. It's not like he was making fun of him, but it wasn't
Yeah.
his thing. It was weird to him.
Right.
And so near the end,
Being silly, like giving him a hard time, whatever.
right. And near the end, the woman or the main girl is like, you shouldn't call it weird. And he was like, but it is weird. It's weird to me. And she's like,
Yeah.
but don't you understand that when you say something's weird, you're being mean, or something like that. You're being mean to someone.
You're bullying or something.
Yeah, you're
like
bullying
that.
or something
yeah.
like that. And he was like, oh wow, I've got so many people to apologize to. And I'm like,
Yeah, that was so
what?
silly.
I was like, things are
Like,
weird to
and-
me because things are normal. You can't have normal without weird. Everything can't just be normal. Oh, okay. If there's nothing weird to you, what are you, a robot? You know, like come on, like things are normal and things are weird. You know, you can't have things are black, things are white, things are good, things are bad. You know, you make a distinction between the two, you know? And it's like, just because it's weird to you doesn't mean that you're making fun of someone for saying that it's weird.
Right. Yeah, it's just like odd to you. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to you in your brain, your lifestyle, or whatever. Like, I could be like, Cody drinks kombucha and I can't get with it. It tastes weird.
Yeah. Well, you're bullying kombucha and you're making fun of kombucha and also people who drink kombucha, and so you should say you're sorry.
Yeah.
It's so silly. It's so silly. It's such an easy way to virtue signal, is to call people out like that. And it's like, what do you really want to do? You just want to make me feel dumb. You want to make me feel like you're smarter than me, or you're more you're more empathetic than me, or you're more moral than me. It's like, get over yourself. So that part in the movie was like totally ridiculous and uncalled for. But, you know,
Yeah.
and this is even bigger, right? The whole relationship between the three friends is the main girl, right? Was more of a friend with the other girl that was dating this guy, right? Who stopped hanging out with the group because she got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
At no point in the movie did they show why they were even friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like, what did they share that they had so much fun doing that she was missing, that the main girl was missing, to be so sad that they weren't friends anymore? They really
Yeah.
never showed that, because when the girl finally came back into the group at the very end to help them, she was clueless.
Yeah.
It's not like she was like super funny, and like when she showed up, everybody had like laughed more and stuff like that. Nothing changed when she showed up. So you're like, why do you like
It's
this girl?
true.
Why is this girl even a friend of yours? I thought they were going to
Yeah,
go
like
down the lesbian route,
I
because it
I love
kind of felt that way at the very beginning, and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just made these two girls lesbians, but they didn't. And then I'm like, okay, well, they're friends, but like, what is so interesting about this girl? Like, why are they friends? And is it literally
mhm.
just because they hang out in the woods?
On one of their birthdays
Yeah, yeah. Did they even have like
once
a
a year.
saying together, or like a did they have a
No,
saying? I don't know.
no,
It's just
not that
weird. It was
I'm
like,
aware of.
yeah, there was really no character development with these people, and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
because you're right.
it.
Like once they got back together, I mean, the only thing that they like kind of did together was when they were in the garage, and one distracted them, and then the other two jumped out and did the salt circle. Uh,
Right,
Okay, that's just because you needed another person.
right,
Like,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't.
And then
I don't
Billy
know.
Butcherson, right?
Yeah.
That's his name, Billy Butcherson. They
Mhm.
barely used him.
I know, and he's
I
such
mean,
a great character. And
yeah,
then
he was a great character. And then the cat. I thought they were going to bring the cat back in some way. They just Hocus Pocus
um,
2 literally had none of the magic the first one had.
the only thing I saw, like, one thing is that the witch that approached them at the beginning in the woods, she has on clothes that match the little girl Danny in the first movie, her clothes. So there's some type of connection apparently.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's like, okay, so you're setting, and then with that ending clip of the cat jumping up and seeing that there was a second black flame candle, did you see that?
No.
Yeah, a little bit after the credits, there was another clip, and it's showing that I guess they're setting it up for a third movie. So,
Right.
but
But
I was
like
like,
nothing
well,
in this second movie makes me want to see the third one. It's like,
I
okay,
know.
cool. Give me an Easter egg at the end credits, because that's what movies do now because of Marvel movies. But the
Mm,
movie was shit.
yeah.
I don't care about the Easter
Yeah.
egg.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't really seen anybody being like, loved it. I
You're right.
mean,
Me either. I just
and
feel
Becca grew up loving Hocus Pocus, and she was just like, she didn't have anything to say about it either. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just keep thinking about kids growing up these days watching these shitty movies and shows.
I feel sorry for them. I don't want to. I don't want to have any kids because this world, nah, it ain't for me, bro, and it ain't for the kids. Like
Yeah.
what? Like even me. Like now, I'm like, God, I have a cell phone, like a smartphone, and I would be more productive without it. Like, and that's how we used to live. And these kids don't have an idea of that, and
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah.
Not to go off on a tangent, but
No, but it's true. But like, I mean, you bring up a good point, and I've thought about this. It's like if you can create distance from your phone in this day and age, you'll be able to accomplish way more because most people can't.
mm, yeah,
You
it's
know, so it's
true.
like that's something that obviously everybody struggles with, even me. But like distance from your phone, not checking social media, and it's like if you can do that, like Brody has, you know, you can get more
Hmm.
done, and he's been getting a lot done
Yeah.
with his writing. Um, so that I mean, yeah, that's and not a lot of people are going to be able to do it, but you can do it. You just have to be like, okay, I'm not checking my phone until 5 p.m. and then I'm going to respond to everybody
Right.
until 6, and then I'm done for the day or something like that. I don't know. Um, but yeah. But back to the movie. I mean, the movie itself was just like there's no soul in these movies anymore. It seems, and I've been watching a
Yeah.
lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I just can't. I know the new Andor show is out now on Disney Plus, and I can't get started watching that because I've been let down by Obi-Wan, uh,
Mm.
Boba Fett. It's just the storytelling just not that good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like Disney. Y'all got a lot of money. Y'all do good stuff. Like, why do you have to keep throwing things out every 3 months? Like, it's it's
You've got
disappointing.
you've got more money than any studio in
Yeah.
existence. Disney has more money, and yet they make these subpar stories. You know,
Yeah.
and really, what it is uh um religious how do I put this? Religious commitment to a certain or to woke ideology. That's how I see it. A religious commitment to it, to where
Hmm.
whatever is woke is what we deem true and valuable, and then that is how we see the world, and that's how we express we express our writing. Because that's what I
Yeah.
mean. You don't write things like that with like um you know championing woke ideas and make great stories.
Hmm.
It's just not happening.
Yeah.
You know. And then I don't even know if you know this, Jody, but like the writers' rooms in these Hollywood what writers' rooms is based off of having certain percentages of people. It's not based off of who is actually the best writer. It's best off, or who is like best for the job or whatever. It's more about diversity. You've got to have a certain amount of
Hmm.
females to males. You got to have a certain amount of LGBTQ plus to straight, and it's like you're more focused on that than the story, and it's showing. And I'm not
It's true.
saying that like these people, these different, these people from different walks of life and sexual orientation or whatever can't write. I'm not saying that, but when
Right.
that's your number one metric for picking people for a story,
Yeah.
what does that have to do with like writer's ability?
It's no longer about who can do the job better
No,
anywhere.
no. It's how do we
No.
please people who see things this way? And it's just a shame because like Disney could make great movies because they've got the most amount of money to throw at a project, you know.
Yeah.
And then
And now with the the real life people, all the like Disney princess movies, that's a big letdown now. It's just going downhill in my opinion.
yeah, so I was talking to a client about this, and I didn't realize that the Little Mermaid in the original story gives up her singing voice to marry the prince. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
How are they going to do this? How are they going to remake this movie without that? Because that's
Sign
totally
language.
like misogynistic, and how dare a man force a woman to give up her talents or something like that. How are they going to? I don't know how they're going to do this. That's the most
True.
exciting thing about Little
True.
Mermaid.
That's very true. Like,
I can't wait to
that's a
see
big
how they
part
do
of
it.
it. Yeah. Have you watched Pinocchio?
No.
I haven't either, but I feel like he's gonna be extra gay, like
Yeah.
extra, like flaming
Well, I
hot.
mean, everything is gay now.
Right.
Like every show's got to have a gay character.
Yeah, Pinocchio's gonna be gay. He's gonna, cause he goes out and like rebels, like hardcore and drinking and stuff. He gonna be gay.
Yeah. We're gonna make him gay for sure.
Yeah, he'll be gay
But you
for
know
sure.
what? You know what's
Especially
fun?
after that animated movie they just made. That wasn't
Right.
Disney, I don't think, but
Yeah. And I don't even
yeah,
know
no.
anybody who saw it.
I don't even know where to see it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the
But, like,
trailer is dope.
Yeah. But isn't it funny though? Like, you have Disney who is making all these moralistic judgment calls, right? Because when you write a story and you write characters, you make judgments. You say this is good for a character because of this. This is bad for a character because of that. How can Disney justify Pinocchio going against his father Geppetto, and living a life of gambling, smoking, drinking, whatever else is on Pleasure Island? And how can they justify that that's
because
not good? And that's a bad thing.
they took out smoking. Like, you can't smoke in Disney movies. Like Cruella, she didn't smoke like she usually does.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And another thing is, like, movie shows in general, like, as much as they got, like, so mad about straight people acting as gay people, and then it was, like, this whole thing, it's still happening. Dahmer.
Right.
Evan Peters is straight.
Yeah.
But he real gay as Jeffrey Dahmer, so... I mean, he real gay.
Yeah.
It's like... Choose your battles. Stupid.
No, it is funny to see Disney try to navigate themselves through this, what they've created for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done it. They think that they're the high priestess of morality, and
wokeness.
We determine what is right and wrong, and then all right, we'll see how your stories come out.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
No.
And I haven't even, and we can end on this, but I haven't even watched The Ring of Power. But I've watched reviews of The Ring of Power, and I've yet to find a good one. I thought I found a good one the other day where they said The Ring of Power is a masterpiece, and it was just a parody. The whole video was like just making fun of the show, but in a sarcastic way. I mean, like, and everything they bring up is like, I'm like, yeah, of course, that's horrible writing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then on top of that, Amazon paused reviews of the show.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Didn't they remove the option? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, really, guys?
Here's your sign.
Yeah, exactly. You make a shit show, and you can't take the critique. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then people will try to justify, but it's a female lead, and it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not good writing.
I mean, of course, if you're like stuck in like a mindset and you can't see that is just like bad, whatever, yeah, they're gonna argue it without an argument.
Right.
Kind of like, and then I'll shut up. I mean, Joe Biden's not all there.
Right. Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
But they'll argue that he there.
Yeah.
He ain't there.
He there. It's true.
So, but they
like
won't
I
have
said,
an argument.
Right. There's no argument. It's like a religious commitment to woke ideology. No matter what. This is what we believe. It is right no matter what, and it's like, hold on, you're the same people that make fun of religious people, but you're doing the same stuff.
You can't be a Christian, but you can be anything else now.
Right.
Respect that.
Yeah, respect that.
But not, no, you can't be a Christian.
Yeah, it's really silly, and I have to point that out to the people I talk to out here in LA, and I'm like, I've just given you 5 reasons why everything they told you about the shot was a lie, and now they've admitted it. It doesn't prevent the spread. It doesn't prevent you from giving it to someone else. It doesn't prevent you from getting it yourself. No, I can't. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, so these facts don't matter to you.
Right.
You just want to believe this no matter what. Oh, okay, got it. As long as we're clear about it. As long as we're clear about it,
right.
we can keep talking and whatever. But like, I thought that facts mattered to you. But if they don't, that's fine. That's fine. If you're just gung-ho on this for, hey, this is my party, this is what they're telling me, I believe no matter what, cool. Well, then let me do my thing too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like being wrong, but it's okay to be wrong. Like, it's okay to, like, you're human. Like, it shows, like, a lot of growth and maturity if you can be like, dang, like, that's crazy. I can't believe that, but I mean, I believe it because there's proof. So, yeah, like, my bad.
Right.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do. I mean, maybe go to therapy first, work on it, but you can do it. Like, it's possible.
We believe in you. That is a funny thing.
I love you.
Like, I love you. We were talking about that. Courtney and I were talking about it the other day. It was like, one of the strangest things is some people from an early age develop this like trigger, like this knee-jerk reaction to always, no matter what you say to them, if they're like, oh yeah, I know, and you're
I hate that. Oh,
really, because I just found this out yesterday, and my whole life I thought it was the opposite. You've always known this?
Yeah.
Oh, that? Yeah, this. Oh, well, tell me about it. What do you know about it? Oh, that is this. No, it's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the opposite of that. Oh, really? Huh, okay. And then they just move on.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I've been actually yelling at myself for 24 hours for actually believing the opposite for 34 years. And you just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's what it is. I'm like, what kind of accountability do you have with yourself?
Yeah,
you know
what
I mean?
Sad.
And it's like, that's just a strange mindset to me, because I'm so hard on myself. When I realize that I'm wrong, I'm like, oh man.
Exactly. Like, I'll tell you something, and it's not even like a big thing. It's just something like, I ate at Viva Chicken yesterday, and then I think about it later, and I'm like, it wasn't yesterday. It was 3 days ago. I've got to tell Cody that I was wrong.
Right.
Like, I'll lose sleep over stuff as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like it's a lot, and I don't, it's just,
a lot of people don't have a conscience, really.
This,
And
yeah.
most of their life is all about themselves. It's me, 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 me. It's it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I told him it was yesterday. It's not going to affect anything. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what? It might not. It might not. And it's not even
Yeah.
that big of a deal. But if that's how you're about everything, I don't know if that's healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people I find as an adult still are like. It's like at no point in their life did they have something that they held themselves accountable to. Because the parents didn't. Their parents didn't hold them accountable to anything. They let them do whatever they want. Oh, that's just, like a particular cousin of ours,
Mm-hmm.
who could say whatever she wanted to adults at an early age.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, guess what type of person she is as an adult now? Same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just see that more and more the older I get. And I always thought it was the opposite as a young kid. I was like, oh, when you get older, you become wiser. Nah. Wisdom is something that you have to, like, I was listening to a philosopher the other day, and he was like, wisdom is something you receive. You can't do anything for it. You have to reflect on your life and your decisions. And that takes humility. Yeah. And then you have to receive, okay, maybe I should have done that. Okay. All right, from now on, I need to do this and blah, blah, blah. And that creates wisdom. You have to have humility. And a lot of people don't have humility to even start reflecting and think they need to think about their life or to even, assess anything. So it's really interesting. I was talking to John the other day, and I was like, these people who are in support of young kids getting gender reassignment surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there's adults that are okay with a child who is not an adult, right? Who can't drink, is not of drinking age, who can't sign up for the draft or can't sign up for the army, can't be drafted, right? Can't even get a job.
Right.
Right? Can't even work.
Brain hadn't been fully developed.
Right, not even fully biologically developed. Well, biology doesn't really matter anyway, so we're trying to change biology. So
right.
So
throw that out the window real quick.
Yeah, they believe that these kids can have these surgeries, right? Because they trust that those kids are making the right decision for themselves, even though everything we know about biology is their brain's not fully developed, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, it's interesting, because a lot of the people that are in support of these children doing it are the same ones that kind of are like, I understood what I was doing at that age. Like I was mature for that age. And I'm like, you know what? Thinking back to when I was 12, I'm a whole lot different than I was when I was 12. But you know what?
Oh yeah.
I've grown in wisdom. I've actually humbled myself and reflected on my life and been like, man, I made some mistakes. And I've got to change this if I want a better life for myself, or this, that, and the other. A lot of people don't do that. So of course they feel the same way they did when they were 12. Because since you were 12, it's always been about you. And you don't make
exactly.
mistakes.
Yeah. It's
right?
sad.
It really is. Because these people who didn't hold themselves accountable to some hierarchy of good and bad, right and wrong, are now influencing children and allowing them to mess their lives up.
Yeah.
And their biology. That's sad. Now I'm all for if you want to be an adult, when you're an adult and you want to do that, go ahead.
Right. Like doctor for one. Go ahead.
No, if you can find a doctor that's willing to do it, you're an adult. That's on you. Do whatever you want.
Well, I just know that, like, you and I both have spent so much time as adults, like, especially in our 20s, working on ourselves and realizing that it's all up to us to work on ourselves and not anybody else. And like, it's super sad. And I know that you know what I'm talking about when I say, especially people where I live, where we grew up,
Yeah, yeah.
that there's, it's that generational thing. Like they're doing what their parents did, and it's okay if that's what's going to make you happy, but there's so many people that are like, well, this is going to be my life because this was my parents and this was my grandparents, and it's never going to get any better because this was how I was born and what I was born into and
Right.
raised. And it's really sad, but it's like you can, yeah, like you can change things, but you have to do it yourself. And then when you're adult, do what the fuck you want to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you got to get that brain fully developed and go to therapy and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people that I do talk to about things like this um, don't like being wrong. Back to what we were talking about, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, I know
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I know that. Like, it's okay not to know something. And
right.
it's even okay to be wrong about something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Courtney, and she was like, you know what? She was like, I was a lot like that, but it was because when I was younger, you know, you're in school and someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, people make fun of you. And I was like,
Heck yeah.
dang, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah,
And it changes you if you allow it.
it does. It really does, because that's funny you say that, because I was like thinking about that earlier in my head during one of whatever we were talking about. But like, you know, they'd be like, have you seen such and such movie? You just say yeah,
Right.
and then you try to go along with it. And like, Dad was bad about this. I'd
Yeah,
be
it
like,
was.
Dad, you know such and such? Yeah. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, but do you? But do you? Like such and such? And he'll be like, nah. That was when
Nah.
I was like finally realizing like that it's
Dad was just
okay.
BSing.
Like, and then to call Dad out and be like, it's okay that you don't know this. And that was like
Right.
mid late 20s, and it's like, um and then he'd kind of laugh it off, and I'd be like, what the heck are you doing? Just say no and I'll explain it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's called communication and learning and all this stuff, but people, yeah, people still do that as
Yeah.
adults. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's like,
But
yeah,
but
I
it's an
remember
insecurity thing
for sure.
too,
For sure.
for sure.
For sure. And people just kind of get automatic in their
Yeah.
people are on autopilot.
Yeah,
People are on
for sure.
autopilot. And that's what I realized what really helped me about psychedelic therapy was that stopped the autopilot. And I was like, "Oh, I do this because of that. And this and that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I always do it." And it's like now changing those habits that I've created over time, that's where the work is. But now I can see what's created the autopilot. And a lot of people never get to see that they're even on autopilot or what that even means for themselves. And
Hmm.
and like, but it's, you know, you can realize some of that stuff just from reflection and therapy.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, it's harder to like get that feeling of like, oh, that's what it was. You know, it's more
Right.
therapy. Therapy is more of a logical approach to yourself. You know, an analytical,
Yeah.
be like, okay, I do this. What in my past has allowed me to do that? Okay, cool. I know that in my mind that makes sense. But with the psychedelic therapy, it's you feel it. You're like, oh, that's the feeling of that event started me on this trajectory. And it's like, I
Right.
don't have to hold on to that feeling anymore. I forgot I even had that feeling about that event. But now that
Yeah.
I've been reminded of it, I can let it go.
Yeah, it's that you've got to be in control. And one of the thing, like the only thing I feel like that I will forever remember from my last therapist that will stick with me and has helped me so much, and still something I have to work on like daily, but is literally she's like, I'm over there crying, like telling her what's going on in my life right now, and I'm like, I feel this and I feel this and he made me feel like that, and she's like, you're saying you feel or they made you feel a certain way, and it's about everybody making you feel a certain way when you have control over that. You have control over how somebody makes you feel. And it was like a light bulb. Like instantly I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Like, I mean, people are still going to hurt my feelings or
Right.
stress me out. And then like, I'm going to be like anxious and stuff. Like it's going to happen. But like, that just stuck out to me, and I'm like, that was so simple.
Right.
But then I'd have to do the work,
Right.
right? They
Yeah.
help you like with that part, and then like you're doing with the psychedelic stuff, and it's like you have to do things like that to actually like work on the tools. Like she gave me that tool to put in my toolbox, and now I have to pull it out and work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Now you like, oh, okay, I've made that recognition that like when I feel like someone's making me feel something, I have to remind myself I'm allowing it. And so what can
Right.
I do
And
now
yeah,
to prevent myself from allowing this? Do I need to go for a walk?
right.
Do I need to meditate? Do I need to pray? Do I need to journal for a little bit? Do I
Yeah.
need to have a conversation with someone? Or, you can. There's things that
Yeah.
you can do that can help you do that work.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's very true.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things that I didn't, I understand now, especially because I moved out to LA, right? And I smoke weed every once in a while and do psychedelic stuff and therapy. And what I always thought was, if you smoke or if you do any of that stuff, it makes you dumb. And what I've
Mm.
realized is it's dumb people who get into it at an
Exactly,
early
man.
age. It's
And
the
they were
dumbest.
just
The dumbest
hot.
people. A lot of dumb people get into it when they're young, and when you're young, you're dumb. Like there's no
Yeah.
way you cannot have the same uh, knowledge about the world at 30 that you'd have at 14. Like it's just you
Right.
know. And
Yeah.
so I see a lot of people, and when I talk to them, I tell them about my psychedelic therapy, and they're like, "Oh, I already did psychedelics back in the day. I was a big partier," and I'm like, "Right,
Yeah.
in a party setting with no life experience, just to get fucked up." It's like
Yeah.
we're talking about two different things. We literally are. And you're a
Yeah.
different person now. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
you're in your 50s. You're not an 18-year-old going to concerts and taking Molly or ecstasy. It's like
Well, one can only hope.
one can only hope. That should be the intro to when we do podcasts. One can only hope. Some type of music.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's a laugh track.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. Well, this was fun, Jody.
Yeah, it was.
Time flew by.
And a Hocus Pocus basically was cute if you don't think too into it and you
There you
don't
go.
dissect, then cute. Cute. That's all I got for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It
Cute.
seems like most things are being made for people who don't think anyways.
Right. It's true. I don't like to think a lot. Like I don't get deep into it like you do. Like you'll get like awful like philosophical, and I'm like I'm the person who likes horror movies and comedies because I like to laugh and get scared, and you don't have to think to do either one of those. And so it's great. And so when I see movies and I expect more out of it, I have to like dumb myself back down and say, Jodie, it was enjoyable. It was a fun movie. Just take it at that, because you're going to be disappointed the rest of your life with movies. So, yeah, go back down to when you didn't dissect things, be dumb. Maybe take a hit of that cannabis vape that Courtney gave you, and just enjoy the ride. Like,
That's funny.
yeah,
That's a good place to end it.
movies are, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll be out in LA in 2 weeks, bruh.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
All right. We'll do it. We'll do this again as soon as we can.
Sounds good. Let's do a horror movie next time.
Okay.